Jessie here from Tonkadale, and today we're going to talk about spruce tops. Spruce tops are here and it's very exciting. In case you didn't know, spruce tops are harvested from the bogs in northern Minnesota and Canada. They're a renewable resource that are highly regulated by the DNR, and they're very regional. So getting outside of our region, you're just not going to see spruce tops. So we are lucky here in Minnesota that we have these to decorate with because they last and last all winter long. At Tonkadale, we create spruce top containers in a couple of different sized drop-in containers, 10-inch, 12-inch, and 14-inch. These are your standard size pots, so the pots you buy here, you can pick them up and drop them into your containers at home. So then, when you're ready to remove them, you simply pick them up and dispose of them in your yard waste container, etc. We fill our containers with rice hulls instead of sand or potting soil for many reasons. Rice hulls are the hull of rice, so they're a natural organic product, and they're great for holding our spruce tops because they are cleaner than soil, they're not as heavy as sand, they fluff up really nicely, they hold a lot of water, and this is important because we're going to be watering our spruce tops until they freeze solid. Let's take the pledge. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I will water my spruce top pots until they freeze solid. Very good. Now, when you're filling your container, you want to fill it all the way to the top and get it a light tap, tap, tap rather than a pound, 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 because when they're really compacted down in your pot, it makes it hard to insert your spruce tops. So a nice pat, pat, pat all the way to the top, and that's how we get started. All right, we have a couple of tools we need to talk about before we get going. Now, does everyone have their own toolbox separate from the person they live with? Okay, good. Now it's best that this is your policy at home because it's really terrible when you come to your toolbox and your stuff is missing or it's been used incorrectly and it's all gummed up. So keep your toolbox to yourself. All right, done with that. First we have a hand pruner. Hand pruners are good for stems with a diameter about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch or less. It's really easy to get through a stem like that. We also have a lopper. Now a lopper is good for the stems that are 1/2 inch and larger. You can get through them real quick like that. Okay, we're going to create a 12-inch container today. In a 12-inch container we use about 10 spruce tops. So spruce tops come in bundles of 10, so you'll need a complete bundle to fill this pot. Everything that was once living or is a fresh item needs a fresh cut because these are going to be taking up water until they freeze solid. So what I like to do is I like to start in the middle. You want to pick a stately and handsome spruce top for the middle of your container. Cut it to the height that's appropriate. Allow a couple inches at the bottom, the little nub, to insert it with, and just gently stick it in. Now you'll notice I cut up some scraps. We're going to save these for later. These are important. We'll talk about those at the end. So from here, what I like to do is I like to go north, south, east, west, and then I'll fill in around that. So here we go. Nice and full with 10 tops, and I'm going to show you how to use the scraps. So we have some special lingo for the scraps here at Tonkadale. It just doesn't get repeated outside these walls. These are the butts, and these are the toenails. So these serve a dual purpose. One is to fill them out and fluff them out at the bottom, create some drape, but also to secure those spruce tops nice and tight. We want to fill our pots completely full of spruce tops so they're really secure. There's some things that are common in the winter, some weather events that are common that can cause destruction on your spruce tops. So a really heavy wet snow can cause them to flare open. A big gust of wind can cause them to tip over and jump out of the pot. It's really a shame when you get up in the morning and they're flopping on the floor. So we're going to, again, give these a fresh cut, and we're going to insert them all the way around the bottom to get them nice and secure. Okay, we're all fluffed up. One thing I do want to mention is the angle of insertion. So as you notice, we do insert our spruce tops at a slight angle, and that kind of gives us a nice treetop shape. That's the style of treetop pot that we make here at Tonkadale, just to keep everything consistent. It's a great structure, good girth, good height, great to fill up your pots. You'll notice that if you do them more up and down, you get a different kind of look. And so this is just how we do it here at Tonkadale. Next, we're gonna skirt the bottom with Norway pine. This is Norway pine or red pine. It's very sturdy. It holds up against those drying winter winds and that low sun angle, so it stays greenest, probably the longest of all of the greens that are available. And these come in 2-pound bundles, and so when you get them, you're gonna get some different sizes, and you can cut them accordingly. So we're gonna go ahead and skirt the bottom of our pot, again giving everything a fresh cut before it's inserted. I do need to mention about the Norway pine and any of the greens that you skirt your pot with is you want to think about the angle of insertion again. Now you see how this kind of has a natural arc, and so we want to work with that. And as you can see, this is a little awkward and sticky uppy, but if we just give it a slight turn and let it go with that natural arc, we create a nice draper skirting. So now we're nice and full and we're ready to decorate our pot. Let's take a moment to talk about Wildstop. Wildstop is a natural pine resin that we spray on all the pots that we produce here at Tonkadale. It coats the needles and it keeps the moisture in, which is great for keeping your pots looking fresher longer, especially through those cold, drying winds and that low sun angle in the winter. So we'll just give it a quick spray. Now it's time to decorate. We're going to start with a transitional theme for our spruce top pot. This magnolia looks good all through the winter, and we'll just give it a good fresh cut and kind of frame out our front where our decorations are going to be concentrated. While we did do the skirting of the Norway pine all the way around the spruce top pot, you really want to think about where your pot is going to be viewed. Are you putting it up against a wall, in a corner, or is it going to be viewed all the way around? So think about that when you're deciding how to decorate it. In general, I talk about decorating a spruce top pot as if you were getting dressed. Now you're getting dressed to go out on a night in the town, you want to wear some jewelry, maybe a scarf or something, you really only need to do that in the front, right? You don't need to decorate the back so much. So do that same thing with your spruce top pot. Just decorate the front, create a focal point, concentrate your items so that we're not sprinkling them throughout the pot. Moving forward, we're going to add some sticks. When I add my sticks, I like to chop my pot into 3 sections in my mind. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's where our sticks are going to go. I have these really pretty copper sticks that kind of go with that coppery brown tone that's on the back of the magnolia. Here we go. And again, these were cut to size, so they're a good height that matches what we have going on in our container. We can stick in our cones. We have these large sugar cones that are beautiful all winter long. They're already drilled and glued on sticks, ready to go, just for you. I like to do one up and one out, just like that. Lastly, we're gonna insert some artificial berries. These berries are weather resistant, so they're great outdoors. In the winter, we've used these berries for years and years, and they are really weatherproof. They're not gonna pop or bleed or fade. They're ready to go. This one is a nice one because it's just one insertion. You just one out and one up. There you go.